Just go closer, right?
I'm gonna use this.
I lay here on my bed, fragile and weak. I have lived a long and eventful life and have had the pleasure of watching my country of France evolve into a just society. I was born on April 12th, 1768, to two poor bakers in Paris, France. My father, Francois, owned a bakery that we worked with the help of my mother, Hélène. Growing up, my parents always struggled to provide food.
Mom, Dad, I'm hungry.
Sorry, Jean, we don't have enough money to pay for anything.
Being a baker never really did bring in too much money.
We can't afford anything with this much money.
But that was expected since we were part of the Sans Culottes. After my parents passed away, I took over the family business.
Mom, Dad.
But it was difficult trying to survive in this time. While I slaved away, working for the smallest amounts of money, just barely preventing starvation,
It's 9. I've been working for 14 hours and no one's buying my bread.
the king and queen had selfishly spent our hard-earned money on the most unnecessary of things. Not only that, but I who could barely afford to feed myself am burdened with heavy taxes while the first and second estate are exempt.
Haha, good thing we don't have to pay any of those taxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wahahaha.
In 1785, I had met my beloved wife, Alice. She entered the bakery, and it was love at first sight for both of us.
Oh, bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Do you have any baguettes?
Of course we do.
Oh, merci.
She would come back every day, and we would just talk.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Je m'appelle Alice. Et toi?
Je m'appelle Jean.
Oh, enchanté.
Enchanté aussi.
I had learned her name and that she had recently moved here from a neighboring city. Eventually, we had moved in together, and we haven't left each other's side ever since.
Will you marry me?
Oh, of course I will.
Yay!
The year of 1788 was an especially difficult year for us bakers. In July of 1788, there was a hailstorm that destroyed most of the farmers' crops, and not nearly enough grain was kept in emergency storage.
Oh no, the crops!
The following winter wasn't any better. Crop prices skyrocketed, and so did the price of bread. Bread itself soon became scarce. Most people were barely able to keep from starving as the economy continued to decline.
Why is this bread so expensive?
It was the summer of 1789, and there were rumors that the royal troops were going to occupy Paris. These actions led us all to believe that King Louis XVI was preparing to overthrow the assembly. I was 21 at the time and was standing in front of the Bastille. How I loathed that prison. It represented the king's absolute and arbitrary power. Many craftsmen and salesmen, including myself, formed a mob. We managed to steal over 28,000 rifles
Bam, 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 bam.
from the Hôtel des Invalides and were rather proud of the product of our efforts.
Yay!
Now all we needed was some gunpowder. We knew there was a large stock of powder kept in the Bastille, so we set out for the stash. When we had first arrived, the governor of the Bastille, Marquis de Lanay, attempted to calm the mob. Eventually, we realized that he was just stalling for time, waiting for a rescue team. When the governor ordered his guards to open fire, all hell broke loose.
Charge!
Because there happened to be only a small amount of guards, only about 82 French soldiers and 32 Swiss mercenaries, storming the Bastille was quite easy for the mob of 300 we created. We overwhelmed their defenses and burst into the first courtyard. When the governor's rescue team arrived, a couple of them turned against Marquis de Lanay and helped our mob with the invasion.
Attack!
The whole fiasco ended in our victory when de Lanay surrendered.
I surrender.
During the same year of the Revolution, a social group called the Jacobins began to surface. Their leader, Maximilien Robespierre, called for a revolution of the Republic. Alice and I both saw the Jacobins as a group that shared the same ideals as us, but they looked at things in a more radical way. The Jacobins mainly consisted of the bourgeoisie, but a few were sans-culottes like us. They believed in equality of all men, and with Robespierre as their leader, they dealt with recent political issues. Their club often supported the most horrific occurrences in the revolution. They soon became the driving force behind the revolution, and with time, the symbol for revolutionary fear. Robespierre had participated in writing the Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. In August of 1792, Robespierre was elected to be the head of the Paris delegation after the people of Paris rose up against Louis XVI.
Ah!
That December, Robespierre successfully argued to have the king executed and encouraged crowds to rise up against aristocracy.
Have him beheaded!
In the summer of the next year, Robespierre was elected to be the head of the Committee of Public Safety.
We want you to be the head of the Committee of Public Safety. Very well.
The Reign of Terror was a result of Robespierre becoming the head of Committee of Public Safety. He became too power-hungry and began to call for excessive purges and executions.
Off with your head, off with your head, off with your head, and off with your head.
He was imprisoned because of the chaos he caused,
You're coming with us!
but soon escaped and fled to Hôtel de Ville in my home city of Paris.
They'll never find me here.
Little did he know that the National Convention declared him an outlaw.
He's an outlaw!
When he discovered this, he attempted to commit suicide and failed.
I'm an outlaw? But this can't be. I need to find a way out of this. I've got to commit suicide. Oh, that didn't work.
Then he was captured once again and finally guillotined, effectively ending the Jacobins and the Reign of Terror with them.
We've got you now. You've got nowhere to go.
Robespierre was a good man who started out with the right intentions, but when he began the Reign of Terror, he had lost sight of what he had originally set out to do, to turn the monarchy into a republic. It may have been for the best that he had been guillotined.
Much, much later.
The Battle of Waterloo was one of the bloodiest battles of my time. Taking place in 1815, there were about 50,000 killed and wounded. One of those men could have easily been me. I'm extremely glad that I wasn't part of that battle, for now I could live out the last of my years with my dear wife. In my old age, I doubt I could have been of much use anyway. From what I heard, Napoleon had lost the battle after surrendering and got exiled to a tiny Atlantic island called St. Helena.
Can't believe it, I lost the bottle.
Now my story leads us to present day, January 23rd, 1816. I don't have very much time left on this earth, but I'm glad I got to spend the remainder of my time with Alice. I did live much longer than most of my time. Not many reach the age of 47, especially after all the city has been through. I do not know what the future of France will look like, but I can only imagine improvement from here on out. He was imprisoned because of the chaos he caused.
We're coming. Oh,
We're coming with you. Oh God.
Okay.
1785, I had met my beloved wife Alice. She entered the bakery and it was love at first sight for both of us.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Do you have any baguettes?
Of course we do.
Oh, merci.
She.
You guys?